All right, once again, we're back out here with the 07 Toyota Camry. So yesterday I changed out the serpentine belt, which you can see in my other video. So here's the new belt. As you can tell, it got destroyed again. So I was driving on the freeway and getting off at a exit to go to Walmart, and all of a sudden just heard this horrible noise, and the power steering went off. The air conditioner died. Pulled over and come in here real quick. So once again, here's where the serpentine belt, comes. You got your alternator, you got your compressor out there, power steering to the back, and then right here, this guy, that is your water pump. And guess what? It is not supposed to do that. So that is what went bad, and the serpentine belt got annihilated once again. So something like that happens, make sure, go back and look at everything, make sure everything's spinning all right, or your pulleys and everything like that. So guess what we get to do? Change out the water pump. This is gonna be so exciting. So first things first, we're gonna have to drain the radiator, which is pretty simple to do. So down here there is a plug. Right there. Pretty simple, okay? So just do that. You just turn it, and it's just gonna start coming out at the bottom here. So just make sure you got something to catch it, okay? So we're gonna do that, let that drain, and next we gotta take off the water pump, which there's a few different bolts and things and whatnot. There is an 18mm one right here, and there's a few other ones just around it. I think they're 10s right next to it, another one on the other side. You can take off the alternator if it's kind of small space to do so. Gives you a little more room to work in there. So once we do that, we're going to try it without that, and also take off the spindle here. These are just 10mm bolts, but maybe let's try just taking it off first. We might have room. If not, we're gonna have to get that off. And then when you're doing it, it's gonna be a little difficult because this is just spinning free, so you gotta get something to hold it in place to be able to take off the nuts there. So we're gonna go ahead and give this all a try. Once we do that, let the radiator drain, we're gonna go ahead and tackle that. I got a new water pump. I actually got online, instead of going to AutoZone or O'Reilly's, what's it called, an ASN or something like that. It's the OM, and they actually make these for the Toyota. Other ones, the Gates and such and whatnot. They say just to stick with the ones that are made from Toyota, by Toyota, or buy from this company. So that's what I'm doing here. It's gonna be here tomorrow, but we're gonna get this thing all ready for tomorrow. All right, back out here with the 07 Toyota Camry. So today we're going to end up taking off the alternator right here, so we can better work on the water pump. But this will show you if you ever need to replace your alternator and how to do that. Pretty simple. First, you just want to disconnect all these cables. Under here in this little boot, there's a 10mm one right there. Just make sure not to touch it and anything on the car. Probably actually want to disconnect the battery, but hey, do what you gotta do. And there's one up here. There's a few of these cables that you can just unclick with a flathead screwdriver, or there's just a clip on themselves and they just pull off. So first, here in the back, there is a 14mm right here. Nice fun long bolt. And then just underneath, there's a 12mm. That's just right under the pulley. Pretty simple, just right under there, you'll find it. So once those are all off, it is jiggling free now. So it just comes off. I probably need doing that one, but so it just comes off pretty easy. And you can kind of set it off to the side. Obviously, when you have all the cables off, it's a lot more easier to move around, but I'll just finish that, and it's going to give me better access to that water pump that we're going to do tomorrow. But once again, pretty simple. So pick up your new alternator, Riley's, AutoZone, wherever, and then throw it back just on the exact same you took it off, and pretty simple. So just once again, 14mm bolt in the back over here, 12mm underneath, and there you go. That's how you take off your alternator in a 2007 Toyota Camry. Welcome to day 2 of replacing your water pump in a 2007 Toyota Camry. So yesterday we showed you how to drain the radiator fluid, which is pretty simple, and just a plug down there, pretty simple. And then second, showed you here's the water pump. So I did get it off yesterday. Really, you want to take off just the alternator, a few bolts, and just kind of move it aside, and it gives you a lot more room to work on your water pump. Now this thing was a bugger to get off if you don't have the special tool. So right here, you see those 2 little holes right there. There's a special tool that goes in there and that keeps it from moving, like so, you know, just going around. So I had to improvise to get these 4 bolts off. Were really a pain in the butt, and without the special tool, you kind of have to be creative. So you can do it a few different ways. I just ended up taking let's get this here. You do a few different things. What you mainly just want to do is try to get something in between the 2 bolts like that, so it stays, and then you can come along and take your wrench here, you know, something like that, and then once again this goes counterclockwise as well. So I did something very creative, so you can try that. I ended up taking a speed wrench or a speed bar here to take off a tire, and just jammed it in there and pushed it forward so it wouldn't move. And then I was able to get a little leverage, but then I had to get a makeshift breaker bar and break those nuts loose. So yeah, so figure that out. It was great. Once you get it, it feels nice and happy. So once again, here's the water pump. Obviously it's not supposed to do that. I went ahead and bought a new pulley as well, just because I'm not sure if I damaged the other one. But so here's the new one over here. Well, this is the new pulley right over here, and also we got the sealant that we're gonna be using. So we'll end up putting new sealant around there on the new water pump. Once again, this is the old one, but we'll get the new one here. So we'll do that, and then everything we did, we're just gonna put it back in. One thing regarding like the bolts and stuff, there was a few 12 and then 10mm bolts on this. Yeah, the big one up there, there's a few down here, and on the side. And once again, it's easier access to take the tire off, remove this little shroud. Has 2 10mm bolts that go right there, and then you can actually get up inside, and it's a lot easier to see everything, the bolts and all that good stuff, and have better access to it. So but we're gonna get the new one ready here, and we'll keep on going. All right, so we got the new water pump out here, right over here. Here's the old one, and here's our new pulley as well. This was about 50 bucks or so. This is about 50 bucks or so as well off Amazon. So I was looking at different water pumps, and they say to get the ASIN, sorry I don't know how to pronounce it, and those ones actually make them for Toyota. You can tell right here, the only difference from the manufacturer one, it says Toyota, but it also says the other company. The other one just says the ASIN, but doesn't say Toyota, but it's the exact same thing. But actually, you can look at it, it has the Toyota scratched out. So anyways, stick with those. There's some other ones, some Gates, some stuff from AutoZone, the Duralast, you know, looked up some reviews. Just stay with the original one if you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some of the silicone around here. Some say not put it in the ridge, some say do it, but you know what, I watched some people do it online, some mechanics. We'll just put it all up in here, and then we'll put this back on, the pulley, and then we'll go from there. Actually, we'll probably put the pulley back on and then put the silicone on. All right, so we got the new water pump. I haven't pushed it in yet, but we got the sealant around it, the rubber seal. And make sure to remove the old rubber seal around the water pump entryway there, just so it makes a good adhesion to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and press it on there. Just give it a good push. And then from there, we're just gonna bolt it back on, put everything back the way we did. Look at that, no jiggle. That's great. So we're gonna do that, put everything back the way it was, and then hopefully it should be running good. So this is how you change the water pump on a 2007 Toyota Camry. If you got any questions or comments, do it down below. Thanks.